Bienvenue na podcast La Via.
Here we go. Welcome to the Lyfe podcast. Now, I don't usually talk about sports. It's not really a topic that I want to touch on too much because a lot of the bribing and the corruption, and so I'm not really into it. But this matter, I'm just too passionate about, and I want to share a couple of the things that I believe are the reasons why the Ravens are not paying Lamar Jackson. If you don't know Lamar Jackson, he's the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens currently. And he's a former MVP, former Heisman, all of that good stuff. And he is still under his rookie contract technically. Right? Now, when they franchise tag you and all that stuff, it's a completely different circumstance. But the point is, this man, as of today, October 11, 2022, does not have a guaranteed contract like the rest of the quarterbacks. Now, I was reading up on it, right? I'm trying to see, well, they offered him something though, right? They offered him something. Over the summer, they offered him a 5-year extension for $250 million with $133 million guaranteed. Now, he denied that, right? And so it says right here, this article, the extension, which ran through the 2027 season, would have increased the total value of Jackson's deal to just under $274 million over 6 years. So he denied that. And a lot of people are like, damn, what are you denying it for? Right? That's just up to par in terms of the value. That's just up to par with just about anybody. And so I pulled up this list as well with all the quarterbacks' current pay, the contract that they're under in 2022. So you see Aaron Rodgers at the top. You see Russell Wilson at the top, right? The Ravens offered him, in terms of value, more than Russell Wilson, more than Kyler Murray, more than Deshaun Watson. They offered him more. Why did Lamar Jackson say no? And why are they hesitant to give this man any more money? Well, let's start with the latter. Why they are denying him more money. I feel like they are denying Lamar Jackson more money because when you look at this list right here, Lamar Jackson is the most cultured quarterback in the NFL. What does that mean? Lamar Jackson represents the melanated being to the fullest in comparison to any other quarterback in the league. They are very hesitant about giving cultured individuals, really, right? You can talk about wide receivers, you can talk about quarterback. They are very cautious. When I say they, the NFL and the owners, as a collaborative, are cautious about putting in extremely cultured players in their league. Now, what I mean by culture, I'm talking about the melanated culture, black culture, representing black people to the fullest. This is why you don't see Cam Newton in the NFL. It's not because he's not the top 64 quarterback. If you don't believe Cam Newton today, 2022, is a top 64 quarterback, I don't know what else to tell you. You clearly, you lack knowledge. Either you lack knowledge or you have something else extra in you that despises Cam Newton outside of his play. Because his play shows he can still, at the least, be on the bench for a team without question. Another player, right? Odell Beckham Jr. is another cultured player. See, when you become larger than life and you start becoming larger than the shield, that slave master is going to drag your ass back into your place. That is why they sent OBJ from New York, the media capital of America, to Cleveland, Ohio. They sent him there, as he stated, and I quote, to die. Figuratively speaking, his career. They wanted to kill his career. They wanted to drop that prestige because he was starting to become larger than life. And you can't become bigger than the league. That's with anybody. You don't think the feds, you don't think the Atlanta owner knew what Michael Vick was doing at the time? With the whole dogfighting and the gambling thing? Of course they knew. You're investing hundreds of millions into this dude. You know their actions. These players, they get spied on. No question. No question. You don't think Robert Kraft knew about Aaron Hernandez mishaps? He knew. But they stay quiet to an extent so that they can make money, so that these players can make money for them. But if you start to become larger than life like Michael Vick was, like OBJ was, like Cam Newton was, they will scale you back. And there's no bigger example than Deshaun Watson. Now, of course, Deshaun Watson got a fully guaranteed contract, so it's a bit different, but here he is at Cleveland. And I don't think they're doing so well this year. So it'll be interesting to see where they take this team in the future. Because that's a whole lot of money they gave him. I wonder if they sent him there for his career to die. But back to Lamar Jackson. Why aren't they giving this man a contract when he has already won MVP? His statistics are just about up there with anybody else. But they haven't gotten him anything. He's too cultured. He's with black people too much. So giving him that kind of contract doesn't benefit white supremacy in the long run. Now, you're sitting there saying, CJ, they've given Russell Wilson a contract. They giving Kyler Murray a contract. They giving Deshaun. They giving Patrick. They giving Dak. I had to laugh at that one because, come on. Dak and black culture don't go together. But anyways, none of the quarterbacks that you see on this list, none of the quarterbacks that I've just stated are as cultured as Lamar Jackson. We've seen Russell Wilson. We know how he gets down. And it's no judgment. These are not bad people, by the way. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just letting you know what the framework is. Lamar Jackson represents the black man to the fullest. He looks like the black man to the fullest. And as of yet, he hasn't gotten caught up in any legal troubles. Right? No one's questioning his blackness. And as far as I know, he's not married to any white woman. Now, I'm not, belittling interracial marriages. But my point is, if you black culture, you can't walk around with no white wife. Russell Wilson, if I'm not mistaken, had a white wife and she cheated. Patrick Mahomes, a white wife. Deshaun Watson, nobody likes him. He's a troublemaker. Alleged assaultist. Is assaultist? Assaulter. I think assaulter. Right? Which I actually did a podcast about him a few months ago. But anyways. And then Kyler Murray. Me personally, I love Kyler Murray. I think he's a dope player. Exciting player. he's just not Lamar Jackson cultured. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean he's not. I'm just saying it's a little scaled back. Lamar Jackson represents the culture to the fullest. They are hesitant about giving this kind of money to this kind of man when we're talking about fully guaranteed contracts. So when you break down the contract and you look at this, right? What was it? It was $250 million they were guaranteeing him, or not guaranteeing him, but $250 in value, $133 million. So when we look at the total guaranteed, right? Because that's what they're guaranteeing him. It's not fully guaranteed. It's the total guaranteed that we're talking about. That's not up to par with any of the quarterbacks that you see other than Derek Carr. Now, obviously, he's better than Matthew Stafford. Obviously, he's better than Dak Prescott. Clearly, he's better than Jared Goff. Better than Carson Wentz. And, of course, Matt Ryan. Probably the worst quarterback in the league. I think I might take Teddy Bridgewater over Matt Ryan. But, in fact, I would start Nick Foles over Matt Ryan. Yes, I said it. Matt Ryan, I'm not even going to get started. That's an entirely new podcast. So it's clear that Lamar Jackson wants a contract that is very similar to either one of Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson. He wants to make sure that he has that total value, right? The average year of about $50 million. Out there with Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. And then he wants to make sure that guaranteed is way up there. So he definitely wants to see, I would assume, at least $180 million guaranteed. And I'm sitting there looking at the Baltimore Ravens. Yo, y'all don't have a team. You don't have an offense. And your defense is giving up points. Who are you without Lamar Jackson? Sometimes you got to keep that into perspective. What do you think you're going to do? Draft a MVP quarterback next season? In the next draft, 2023, you think you're just going to come up with a quarterback? That's idiotic. The Ravens are clearly showing that they're not even trying to win the Super Bowl. This man has a tight end, and that's just about it. He has no star receiver. So if I'm the Ravens, I would for sure lock up this, if I'm not mistaken, this 20 let me see real quick how old Lamar is. Lamar Jackson's 25, going on 26. He's 25. Without a shadow of a doubt, this man's going to have his speed for the next 5 years. If not, get faster. And obviously, his passing game is going to pick up. You think his passing game is going to get worse in the next 5 years? Think about the investment. Do you not want to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years? Yes or no? This man's current contract is total value of less than $10 million. With $8 million guaranteed. That's what his contract was coming into the league. So I'm just telling myself, like, what's the problem? The problem is it's unfortunately it's looking like racism. And you're saying it can't be because they're paying other quarterbacks. I just told you about the other quarterbacks. Those other quarterbacks do not have the same appeal to a young black boy than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has the most influence. He walks like them. He talks like them, and he's from the hood, and he lets it be known. He's not married to no white woman. He has no legal trouble. This is why they don't want to pay Lamar Jackson. So if I was Lamar, I personally would have denied that contract as well when I look at the comparisons. Because I thought it was enough. I was like, $250 million. I was like, that's up there with Deshaun Watson and all them. I'm like, what's the problem? And then when you break it down, they're not paying Lamar. They're not paying Lamar up to par with Josh Allen. You can make the argument that Josh Allen is better. You can make that argument. It's a good argument. But you're going to have to pay them extremely similar. So if Josh Allen is getting 150 guaranteed, you're going to have to start there. It's without a question. And he's paying a total value of $258 million. Nah, Lamar's not signing that contract. He's not signing that 250 for 133 guaranteed. You're going to have to do better than that. So I just wanted to chime in on that. I think a bit longer than I wanted to, but that's okay. Just wanted to chime in and let y'all know what the deal was, why they're not signing Lamar, why they're hesitating. I want my contract guaranteed. If you want me to run around like this man's damn near a running back. He's a QB playing running back as well. Making cuts, doing all that. And we've seen quarterbacks in the past that make a cut without being touched, and they are tearing up their ligaments in their knees. So if he tears his leg up, please believe, I'm not saying it's a wrap, but he won't be the same. So I need my money guaranteed, and I need my money guaranteed not just because of the last 5 years, but what I've done in the previous 5 years, and how essential I am to your team. There's quarterbacks on this top list that are not as essential to their team. They can get fucking replaced. I just told you Matt Ryan could get replaced by Nick Foles. Carson Wentz can get replaced. Jared Goff can get replaced. Kirk Cousins could get replaced. As we've seen, Dak Prescott can get replaced. Don't get it twisted. Matthew Stafford can get replaced. Derek Carr can get replaced. And if Russell doesn't get his shit together, it's looking like he could get replaced. But I'm sure he'll do better. He just needs a little bit more time. But that's what we're seeing here. Is when you put into comparison, when you look at this list, now I get it. Nah, bro, you're going to have to pay me. You're going to have to pay me. And I'm telling you, you're going to have to give me that 250, maybe even 255 total value. And you damn sure going to have to start with the 150 million guaranteed. Me, I'm saying 180. It's looking like he wants 180 guaranteed. But you're going to have to do something. So with that, that's my piece on that, man. If you feel differently, just holler at me. I don't mind debating and talking and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not hugely into sports, but I know enough. I know enough when someone's getting screwed over. So, Aaron Rodgers, 39 years old. Boy, you gonna call it quits soon. You should. Looking whack. Anyways, peace to you, man.